Good afternoon, and welcome into another Titan Talk. Today's Kilgoon and Manny joining me for today's Titan Talk. We don't have a ton to go over because obviously Sylvanas patch just dropped.
Yeah.
How do you do?
I think he's doing okay.
Okay.
There were a couple bugs just, in general that
Yep.
I think we've got most of them fixed by now. We'll go through that in a minute. But there was like a bug where in kind of some edge cases, his pull could stop working at the beginning of yesterday.
I heard about that one.
So I think that we won't really know win rate or anything until tomorrow. Probably we get a little bit more data because yesterday it was a little bit, potentially some bugs were affecting things.
That's normal.
But I think I played a couple games with him. I thought he felt really good.
Okay, good.
When I'm playing on patch day, I do not insta-lock the new god. I feel like that is rude as a Hi-Rez employee to insta-lock the new god.
No, definitely. As an employee, yes.
But
as an average player, do it.
Oh yeah, completely. No. If I didn't work here, I would insta-lock.
Yeah.
But especially for my boy. But the way I approach it is, I'm like, I prioritize roles that it'll work in, and then I'll just sit back, and if nobody else picks him, he's mine.
Yeah.
So anyway,
however, on patch day, that's not really going to happen.
It happened twice.
Did it?
Twice yesterday, and I didn't even play that much.
Okay.
I had a lot of stuff going on.
Wouldn't expect that because generally people just jump on it and then whatever role they are, they're like, I'm doing this now.
Yeah, I had
jungle solo.
I did have a jungle Sylvanas in one of my games yesterday.
Was that because he insta-locked straight away and he was jungle?
I think so.
That's
he was
about-
fine.
that's about right.
With he knocked people up and pulled them, and it was good.
Quick check then, as I'm just reading through chat, there's nothing crazy. Nice haircut. Yeah, thanks. It's not great.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Congrats.
It needed cutting. I wear it like a wig. I'm so lazy about it. I just shave it, to be honest.
Dude,
the effort of it is too much.
I'm gonna share some Kilgoon lore. I started cutting my own hair during the pandemic.
Okay, and you just continued from that.
Yeah, I've paid for a haircut like 4 times since the pandemic.
Okay.
But at the beginning, the pandemic, everybody was locked down. You couldn't go anywhere.
Full hobo phases for everybody, pretty much.
Yeah, and the only clippers that we had at my house was an old pair of dog clippers.
So
I cut my hair with an old pair of dog clippers for like 2 years before my wife was like, I'm getting you a good pair of clippers. And it made a big difference, let me tell you.
Shockingly, who would have guessed?
So, but nobody saw me back then other than like my coworkers on a Zoom call or
which everyone
my
had
wife.
different backgrounds and stuff like that.
So
anyway.
it was fine. It was workable.
Perfect timing.
Anyway.
On to actual quick things. Obviously, Kilgoon mentioned we had a couple of fixes yesterday. We had a lot of fixes go out this morning too. So I'll just do a very quick recap for you just to show what's going on. Fixed Cuckoo not showing up in match lobby. He did have to get disabled for a second to be re-enabled.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure more than that.
So this is a weird edge case one. He wasn't cooked properly for the server.
Okay.
So the clients thought that he was a god. The server did not think that he was a god. But there was also a problem where certain platforms require they're case sensitive.
Yeah.
And he had been written with a lowercase k
instead of a uppercase K.
Yeah, which would have prevented him from working on another platform. So
Okay.
there were a couple things that, but we got to fix now.
Kabrakan, the aspect nerfs, they were in, then they weren't in, then they were in.
Yeah.
Kabrakan aspects.
Somebody in chat was like, yeah, dude, I did like 101,000 damage in arena with Kabrakan aspect yesterday. It's like, it was broken. It was unnerfed temporarily, but it's been re-nerfed.
Yeah. Main issue is because we've been doing so many quick patch cycles that he just wasn't picked up in the transfer to the update. That has been gone back and fixed, so Kabrakan should be within reason manageable again. Merlin, AO4 was not resetting cooldown. That has been fixed.
And that was more for if you were aspect Merlin,
Yeah.
like you could transform and then not have your abilities able to use because they'd be still on cooldown.
So that was what we fixed too. Aladdin Lamp and Scylla 4 talent cooldown fixes.
Don't know anything about that. But
Don't know off the top of my head, but like I should have wrote these out. I've been busy trying to sort Twitch drops today, chat. So that's why I've been like not as focused. Map conquest tutorial lighting and geometry was broken, has been fixed.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. We aren't sure how it broke. I mean, I'm sure somebody is sure how it broke. But if you had logged into conquest tutorial for the first couple hours of the patch yesterday before we disabled it, it looked super broken.
Gotcha.
So apologies for that, but that should be working now.
What else do I have here? camera issues after spectating Fenrir while dead. That's back to being fixed again. We knew that, and it keeps coming back up. The next one, huge one, absolute community drama. How did this possibly happen in a free-to-play game that nobody has to pay a single dime for to play? The owl was missing on Sylvanas, Kilgoon. What the hell?
Yeah, so his idle animations, which is where you see him, were broken. So we had to re-export them and then re-import them. It just got missed because the owl did pop out and fly around you. That part happened, but you didn't get to see him in the idle animations. That was the part that was broken, and that was the part that people were complaining about. So whatever his name is, there was a Reddit thread about what we should name him.
He doesn't have a name. Yeah, that's what I read. I think I saw that too. He doesn't have a name. Someone suggested Archimedes, which is Merlin related. Okay. But I was like, I'm not sure about that one.
Normally the internet just goes to Owly McOwlface or something.
There was one that said something similar to that, or Hooty McHoot or something like that. Yeah. But the owl was missing. That's been fixed, and Sylvanas' idle animations are back.
Yeah, and I believe that Xbox will be getting this later today. They may not have all of these fixes yet.
Okay.
But
this is right here, but
these aren't things that aren't they don't actually affect the gameplay. Sometimes we'll roll out to different platforms at different times. So some of this stuff might come in an actual download update to Xbox later today if you don't already have it.
Also, Scylla's Sentinel doesn't show the revealed area on the minimap. That has been fixed as well. Reaping events messed up in other languages. We fixed that. I should have read through this because this is kind of our dev notes where we just kind of shorthand stuff, and I'm like, yep. Nope. And Dodgy was shown in game as being released as patch as the icon. We've removed that. Obviously, she wasn't getting released.
Yeah, we just had the wrong date on the thing, so we'll get that updated. I don't know if that date is updated with this new update, or if
I don't know if we just turned it off for the time being. It's one of those two, but you won't see Dodgy appearing in the game for the time being.
Typo.
And then the only other thing I've got as well is the Conquest picks and bans that the competitive scene is how did this happen? Picks and bans are now back to normal, where you can have your 3 bans and then your picks like you've done previously for the competitive scene. However, the mode wasn't for some reason having the Moonlight phase, but that has been fixed this morning and should be rolling out and ready for your evening comp games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apologies for that. A lot of stuff in flight as always. A few things we missed, but I think we've got most of it cleaned up this morning.
The crazy thing is how quick we turn it around. I am not still used to the speed that we turn these things around, Kilgoon, of it'd be a patch. Yeah. It'd be a 2-week, 4-week patch before we could get to some of these things, and they're just done. Yeah. Within 24 weeks, which is great. I know the player base may not feel that, but I definitely can tell the difference.
Yep. And we do have one person saying that Dodgy is still visible as November 4th in game. Yeah, we still need to update that string. The thing that was, I believe, that was fixed with this note was a specific, it's more of a cook issue that would not actually be 2-player facing. Yep. But yeah, we will get that fixed. It's just, I believe they just kind of copy and pasted the last teaser image thing and forgot to update the date on it. So apologies for that, but that will get updated soon.
However, that is all I have on the hotfix notes so far. Yeah. And I guess we can take community questions and go from there.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned Twitch shops, by the way. I guess I can start with that real quick. Should see the Sylvanas Harvest Keeper, I believe his name is, being turned on this weekend. Saturday to Saturday will be each weekly campaign for Twitch drops. Still going to have market coins. However, we're going to make Sylvanas as part of that, as part of one of the Twitch drops. And we're going to let it run for 2 weeks. So the first week you can get the Sylvanas, or the second week, just because I know from experience that people may be away for 1 week and not be able to claim it and get very, very upset. So 2-week cycle. And if you vacation for 2 weeks, that's your own fault. There's nothing more I can do there. Yep. But that should be good as of this weekend. Keep an eye on that.
Comp is so back, yes. What are we giving you for Christmas? We're giving you a drop this week.
What are we giving who? The chat?
Chat wants us to give them things for Christmas. We'll do things for Christmas.
What are you giving me for Christmas?
I know.
Chat. What do we get?
My daughter says she wants a doctor kit.
A doctor kit?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Do you reckon she'll go into that medical career in the future?
Her mom is a nurse, so it's possible.
Leans in. Yep.
Possible.
Yep. Leans in. I just want peace.
Any chance in the new year we go back to a once-a-month update instead of the 2-week timeline we have going right now? I personally would rather an update a month with more content. So I think there sometimes is I don't know if it's a misconception, but just in terms of the amount of stuff that we are doing, we are not able to do more things
by having more
by
the same length of time
in the same amount of time, right? So we still have, in the course of 2 patches, we would have 4 weeks.
Yep.
Right. in the course of one monthly patch, we would have 4 weeks. We would still be able to ship the same amount of stuff. It would just come out less frequently.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, we feel like it's probably better to just keep going with the bi-weekly cadence. If something changed and we wanted to change the God release cadence or something, that might justify changing the patch cadence. If we wanted to, if there was some bigger feature that we were trying to get in, at some point when we go through full certification to get console chat and some other stuff on console, that will require a longer patch cycle, right? Like if there's a reason to do it, for sure, but it doesn't actually get you bigger it doesn't get you more content in a month. It just gets you one big moment in a month and then nothing for 4 weeks instead of every 2 weeks you get half of the content. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. For more casual players, it's probably better for the once a month, to be honest, because there's less to keep up with.
You come back each month, check in what's going new, and then
But because we're still actively developing the game and adding a lot of features, we feel like it's better to keep moving fast because it lets us ship things, and then if it is or isn't good, we can react quickly to it to further adjust, right? So lobby, we shipped lobby. There was a lot of things that were wrong with the lobby, and the lobby's a lot better in this update. Knock on wood. I haven't heard anybody complaining about it, but there were a lot of visual improvements. There were a lot of functionality improvements. And if we had just waited and shipped it and then not done anything for a month, that would probably have been a worse experience. So as long as we're super active development the way we are, we'll probably stick on this cadence, except for over the holidays.
Over the holidays.
Because we are taking a 4-week patch break over the holidays because people are not working the week of Christmas and part of the week of New Year's. So it doesn't actually give us more time to work on that patch. It'll be about a normal size patch, but there will be a 4-week break between updates between, the December, 18th.
We'll confirm dates for sure before we go down that path for sure. One question I saw in there as well was, hang on, I saw it. Little roadmap for the next 3 updates, similar to what we did for the last 3. I don't think we have that today, but maybe it's something we could look at. Kilgore?
Yeah, I was going to do something next Monday.
Okay.
Just like a...
Here's where we're at. Here's what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be quite as in-depth as the last one.
Sure.
Just because of where we are in the cycle. We are just kind of also working on some more long-term things that don't have a date right now.
Yeah.
So it's harder for me to be this is exactly in this patch.
Always a concern.
Yeah.
But Monday then.
Yeah, Monday will at least, I would assume Monday will at least confirm the next wave of gods officially.
Yeah, officially. Yes. Kilgore.
Yes.
Officially.
Are you going to get a PowerPoint? I don't know. People complain about my PowerPoints now. So
I think they're wonderful.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll do something. Tower health bars are disappearing, and you can see health bars from the closed door at the Fire Giant. Closed door at the Fire Giant I hadn't heard about.
I'll double check on that, but I do know the health bars over the towers is being looked at the moment, and I'm not sure if there's already a fix in flight. We've just not written it down, but I do know about that.
Yeah, and then the tower health bars. Interestingly, this is a fun look behind the scenes. Our towers are actually Niagara systems, so they are not just static models. They're like FX systems,
right?
Is the way that the towers work behind the scenes. And I believe that we've been trying to do some work to optimize those further so that they are more performant. We're doing a lot of that kind of stuff behind the scenes. And I think that as part of that optimization effort, something got messed up with the health bars. It is a known issue. As we said, we're working on it. Do we want a clip of health bars at FG?
Yes, SMITE.com/bugs. Send any reports there. Any video feedback you can provide or anything like that is really useful as well. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
At least the towers aren't coded as a minion. That's the old League of Legends joke, right? That everything is coded as a minion in League of Legends?
I don't know. Maybe once upon a time it was.
Before the alpha was out, Hi-Rez showed off a demo of Smite 2 with a rough port of the Season 10 Conquest map. How come you didn't stick with this map? That was pretty much just as close to a copy-paste as you can get from, we took the file and we imported it and we didn't really do anything to it, right? So it wasn't something that we spent a lot of time on, and it was primarily just a
testing ground almost.
Yeah, it was we need a map that we can play Conquest on so that we can work on everything else. This is the fastest path to do that. And then the plan was always that we wanted to do a true native Smite 2 Conquest map that took advantage of some of the new features and stuff. I think that, it's no secret that our current Conquest map is not like the intended final version of Conquest that we ever do, right?
End of the day, the map changed multiple times over the years in Smite 1 too. So yeah.
So I think that like we learned a lot through making our first Conquest map that we wouldn't have learned if we were just porting over, you know, the Smite 1 map exactly. That led to us being able to make the Joust map, I think, evolve a lot, and we learned a lot from the Joust map. And I think from, you know, when we do the next thing, I think that hopefully it'll look even better. And I think we're putting some of those learnings to work on the Conquest map now, experimenting with things with lighting and some of the other stuff we have going on in the background.
I think it's also funny that people are like, why don't you just copy paste the map and then release it and then watch people complain that you just put the same map in the game? You can't win, you know. It's kind of one of those.
And so it is interesting. We've been going through recently trying to like really narrow down a lot of the feedback that people have about like what is strictly worse about the current map compared to the old map, right? And a lot of the feedback that we've been getting is actually a lot more like game pacing things that are not directly caused by the map layout.
Sure.
I think there's some map layout specific stuff that is very useful, right? And there's also just some aesthetic stuff that like it doesn't look like a truly finished map, right? Because it was intended as kind of the temp alpha beta map that was not the final map, you know.
Sure.
But yeah.
And again, we're in beta still, so like it's not. Yeah,
we're still in beta. It's, you know, it's, do we feel like the current pace of development of the game is in a good place, and should you be excited for the next year coming up? I mean, I think so. I think that like even just in the last couple months, like we've made a lot of progress, right? I mean, we you know, we are not the biggest team on the planet, you know.
I think that's the one thing our community hasn't really like justified the scope change of like just how the size of the team is and how many people are passionately working on the game.
Yeah, no, I think that like especially for the size of the team, I think that we're doing a pretty good job putting out content and continuing to make the game better.
Yeah.
I think that if you like the current pace of things, then you will be, you know, excited about next year. We have kind of a similar pace plan, but different things, obviously. And the idea is to just keep making the game better. I saw something I was going to respond to, but I totally lost it. So
it moves quick sometimes.
It does move quickly.
And then some people just choose the same colored name too, which makes it even harder to get new colored names, guys.
Half the community say, make the game more distinct. The other half say, make the game more like Smite 1. If both sides are mad, that probably means it's a good middle ground. Yeah, this is one of the hardest things that we've found about this game is that it's, you know, there's such a passionate group of Smite 1 players that want it to just be Smite a remaster.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a group of people that are like, no, it needs to be something completely different. And those two opposing viewpoints rarely agree on things that we add to the game, or you know, because like we do add something new. You know, we add. This is just an example. I haven't seen this specific one, but this is just something that we could hear, right?
Okay.
Like we did this Moonlight phase, which I think has been pretty well received by and large. Some people could be like, well, why didn't you add tikis? Tikis were great, you know, like. We get that kind of reaction a lot.
Bring back the milking toad. Yep.
Yeah, it's like, well, why not go back to 2 relics? You know, why not switch back to the old item building system?
Give me rituals.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. But
I've heard them.
Have you heard it?
Oh, I've seen it all. Like it never. It's always the case of everyone, like, in a weird way, there's kind of roasted goggles of, like, looking back in the past of their favorite moments and going, man, Season 7 was the best and most balanced version of Smite 1 ever. And I'm like, no, let's just go through exactly what the feedback was then. And everyone's like, Hunters are OP or whatever. It was always the case. You know, there was always things that people, but there is the nostalgia factor as well of like, man, when I started playing, it was great. And then if you talk to people that have been around for a couple of years at that point, they're like, this was not great. We missed the older ways. It's just the way it'll be.
Bring back boots, somebody says. Okay. Yeah.
Only bring back boots if gods without feet can't use them. That's what I'd do. No Medusa boots.
But
Jormungandr, nope.
But give me 6 bows, and I can definitely use that at the same time.
If we bring Skadi in, Skadi needs multiple pairs of boots because she's got if she wants Chaldea to have boots. Like, let's play that.
You need 2 pairs just for him.
Correct. So she needs to apply 3 pairs of boots for movement speed. So you get those movement speed, nothing else.
Yeah.
Just boots.
Just boots.
With movement speed.
Yeah. I think that we've talked about this game before, Brotato.
Yeah.
But I think that Brotato with like how you have like the 6 guns like orbiting you.
Yeah.
I've always thought that that'd be funny if a MOBA did like
just had the items floating around you.
Had your items actually like floating around you and like firing their own stuff.
You almost.
Yeah. I just think that would be amusing.
In a third-person version, I don't know if that would work as well. Screen clutter already.
It would
right?
be amusing.
I didn't say it would be good.
It would be
I said
amusing.
it would be amusing. Yeah.
Community builds still showing OB14 or earlier. Yeah, I need to take a look at that. I've seen that report. I'm gonna make myself a note. It's possible there's like some switch we haven't flipped in a couple patches. Might actually be more than a couple patches of saying 14.
Call me quacked. I'll reach out to you after the stream regarding your classic issue, and I'll see if I can help you out with that.
My Mordred wearing 5 breastplates of various origin would be funny, though. It would be funny. Can we please have the option to buy Divine Legacy skins? I don't have access to Smite 1 anymore. At some point, we will probably create a way to get access to Divine Legacy skins. I think they are like an ultra rare drop in the daily chest.
I'm not sure.
I think they might be. But while Divine Legacy, like you can technically still link and move over to Smite 2 and get your Divine Legacy stuff. We probably won't do much more for those skins until after we turn that off. Just because like having multiple ways to acquire something is a little bit weird. And we try and keep them a little bit more restrained. Yes, it is confirmed they are the ultra rare drop if you are rolling them in the big chest.
Quick question about the state of Joust. I think I can speak for everyone. Wow, that's some big things to say. When I say tower diving is too easy, even 1 minute into the game, you don't get punished for it. Is that always going to be like that? I don't always think it's going to be like that because everything changes and health bars go up, items go up, items go down. I wouldn't say you speak for everyone on that though, because it's a little bit not true. Is the best way I'm going to put that. But I will pass along the feedback to the team. However, the tier 1 towers in Joust is just the same as they are in Conquest.
Yeah.
I guess the fact there's 3 people diving.
Yeah, maybe it just doesn't like scale soon enough for Joust or something. I don't know. It's something you can take a look at.
How would you all feel? Look, Chad, this is my personal thing. This is not the developers. Towers 1 shot. How do y'all feel about that?
Towers 1 shot?
Yep. Don't get aggro.
I don't know about that one.
I mean, it's the extremes of the one thing of like, man, towers do nothing. I'm like, man, I did 3 hits to a tower.
I personally, like, this is, my design hat, which is, I don't get to wear because I'm not a good designer. But I think that, like, if I was going to change anything about towers, I would change, I forget what we call it. I want to say it's like the heat up rate.
Okay.
Where it's basically like.
Yeah, the wind up time of like lock on into.
No.
fire,
I mean, like, subsequent hits deal more damage.
Yeah.
Right? And the first hit, I don't think does like. I think it's fine, personally.
Sure,
right?
I agree.
But it's like if you've tanked like 3 shots or 4 shots and you're still like doing okay, I think that's where I start to be like, this is probably not good. So I think that like.
But if I built full tank and I'm not doing any damage because I'm just a tank, and I'm sat tanking 5, should I be able to tank 5 or 6 tower shots and get away with under a third health? I think that's okay.
Maybe, but like maybe like later game. Like I don't know.
Sure. I'm not talking like level 2. It's not going to be the case. I'm not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my take. I do think that like there is some interesting like just philosophical difference between the MOBAs about like
what
like
you shouldn't do.
Yeah, because like in League of Legends, like and Smite typically, right? Like your towers really protect you.
Yeah.
And in Dota, you protect your towers. Like you're not safe under towers in Dota, right? It's just like you get dove and it's fine. So I think that like there are different ways that you can balance a MOBA around tower diveability. I don't have strong feelings on current Joust tower diveability, but it's something we could take a look at. I mean, Why is ESET not considered a healer in Assault? That's probably something we need to change.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that one.
Yeah.
It also depends on the amount of healing, but yes, I do agree. I've seen a lot of complaints about how healers are structured in Assault too, because with some of the changes, some have got weaker, some have got stronger, some don't feel as good as others, and we're trying to make improvements there.
Is spectral armor supposed to slow Titan attack speed? I don't think so.
If that's costing you a game, that's wild.
That's wild.
Man, we lost a game because Spectral stopped the Titan.
Because Spectral should only stop things that are critting, right? Isn't that
no? It's an attack speed slow.
It's just a universal attack speed slow.
There's an attack speed slow around it. I just don't know if it influences minions and jungle bugs, but maybe it does.
Interesting.
I didn't bring a notepad today, so I'm having to type it out on my phone.
Until when is the Pantheon badge event happening? I know it's at least until the next update, but it might be 2 updates. I'm not 100% sure when we're going to turn that UI off, but you have at least 2 weeks, but maybe 4 weeks.
We're talking the Pantheon new
the Pantheon
quests?
quests. Yeah, play 3 games.
I'm going to say at least two updates. I want to say it's going to be.
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not 100% sure when
Try
we're
and
planning
log
to
in
turn
real
it
quick
off.
and check what it might even say it in game. That generally happens a lot. Okay, I can't jump in game right now, but I will check on that for you. I'm pretty sure it'll probably be 2 updates though.
There's a couple questions about. Oh, I'm getting sidelined by sports questions. No. Sorry.
Thoughts on World Series straight away?
So I will just say
he's in. Okay,
real quick. Chat asked me at the beginning of the MLB playoffs who was going to win the World Series.
It was Dodgers that won, right?
Yes.
And this is my lack of knowledge about baseball in general, but they bought it by buying a ton of really expensive pitchers.
Just players in general.
Cool. I mean, that's but most sports are like that, right?
But most sports have a salary cap.
Sure.
So you can't spend more than a certain amount, or you're very penalized. Whereas in baseball, there's no salary cap. So a team can spend as much on players as they want to. And the Dodgers have a lot of money, and they spend a lot on players.
So they did that. Okay.
But they did that. But anyway, I just want to say I called that they were going to win. I knew that was coming.
Development caps on video games. How do you feel about that?
Development
We're
caps.
all even.
Oh, maybe we can
changes the battlefield then.
I feel like campaign funding is the next place we should put that in, but that's neither here nor there. There's a question about time to kill. Again, I'm not a designer. This would be a better question for if we had
one of the devs on.
What was the question about? Basically, a lot of people are. Some of the Discord, there have been so many reactions to reactions. But some of the context is basically around time to kill in the game.
Yeah.
And whether it's too long at some aspects, whether it's too short at some aspects. I think that the relatively hard thing to do is you can't compare the games apples to apples, because a point of hit points is not exactly a point of hit points across the game.
Sure.
Because the amount of damage that things do, the amount of base numbers that gods have is different, the amount of scaling that things have is different, right? And so you have to look more at like what percentage of life does a combo do, and like what the poke battles feel like and whatnot. I think that it's a lot closer to SMITE 1 than some of the negative people are saying at the moment. I think that there's room for improvement. Don't get me wrong, right?
Sure.
And I think that maybe there are some moments in the game where I think that time to kill can get a little bit short in late game right now because of stacking elixirs. And I think that in certain lanes and in certain matchups, it can be a little bit, maybe just like a touch too slow early game.
Sure.
This is my personal opinion. I'm not the design guy. But I don't think it's as far off from the SMITE 1 flow. If you look at if I do a combo on, versus the other game. Yeah. For most characters, obviously there's some that are just like, oh, if I do a full combo, I burst you. And I don't think that's healthy for the game.
TTK is, again, just another balance point, in my personal opinion, of through the whole of SMITE 1, from Season 1 all the way through to Season 10, the TTK was ever-changing, up, down, left, right. And that would also come with meta shifts of, the mages are strong, the junglers are strong, the solo lanes are strong, and based off that, TTK goes up or down as well.
Time to kill is also bad because of these tanks going 4 lifesteal items on Herc, and we have no anti-heal lol. So I will say, like, we are aware that, like, it would be better to have more. We have a couple items right now that are like
sure affected by
heal.
healing. Yeah,
right. They don't reduce the amount of anti-heal, but they will make you stronger, or they will, they have some reaction to that. I think we need more of those kinds of items to give you more itemization options against somebody who does go that super lifesteal itemization route.
Agreed.
But I don't think that it's like throw the whole system out. Time to kill in the game is garbage, because there are a few isolated instances where if Herc, a god who is notable for being unkillable, even if he doesn't build any items, then builds a bunch of items to make him even more unkillable. It's like, I mean, sure. Like, I can see that case being one of the edge cases.
Everyone just misses buying Divine Ruin every game. That's what it sounds like to me.
I don't miss it.
That's what that's the vibe you get. If only.
Will we rework the initial aspects at some point to create bigger changes like the newer aspects do? I will say there are certain older aspects that we will eventually go back to and rework, right? Because they're not, like, we just did it with Loki. Wasn't good enough. We went back and redid it, right? However, we don't believe that every aspect needs to be like,
must
here's
be
a whole new
picked
kit
every time. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that some of the more subtle ones can still be really good, and I think that some of them should be more subtle. And it's not our goal that every aspect is like, like Fat Loki Karakin. Fat Loki Karakin was a meme that we had to make real.
A wild idea that was great to have fun and implement, and I think the community enjoyed it for what it is.
But beyond the scope of what we would normally ever do
for
in
every single
aspect,
one. Yeah.
Right?
But never say never. Maybe, 5-10 years down the line, we'd start doing that with aspects all the time.
Are we testing new counter healing items, or did we just give up?
I gave up.
I just gave up. I figured.
Who said that?
Why do work?
Who said that?
It's a lot easier to just give up.
Okay.
No, of course, we're constantly working on new things in the background. We are testing new things. Once we get them into a place where we feel good about them, we'll, ship them live. Like, we don't just sit on our hands over here. We read all of the comments that people have, and we have good conversations about how to fix them. And, we test stuff internally. And once we think it's good, we send it to you guys.
And then you'll complain because it's still not perfectly balanced.
Oh, that's life.
That's part of it.
We always used to say that if the thing that people are most complaining about is balance, then the game is in a pretty good state.
Sure.
There's a lot of worse things to be complaining about than balance. Like, obviously, there's times when balance gets so out of whack that it's not good that people are complaining about it. But
for sure.
If that's the worst thing, we're in a decent spot. How's Amaterasu doing? It's only been one day. We don't really have great data for the first day usually, so we'll probably get better data tomorrow or later today.
Yeah, maybe we'll have something Friday. We can share
cool.
a little bit if I can.
Lots of people asking about Wandering Market collections. I don't have an update right now. We talked about it Monday or Friday. Some show I was on recently. It was basically like, we don't have any update. Don't have another one planned at the moment.
Right.
Doesn't mean there'll never be another one, but right now we feel like you're getting a lot of free stuff with the Wandering Path and the permanent Wandering Path market that you can spend coins on. And then the Travelers that we're releasing are a good place to get some decent value for your money if you like prisms. So,
what's your thoughts on adding a straight buffer god to the game with no damage abilities or one damage ability?
So,
did you ever hear about the Blob?
The Blob.
It was an idea a while ago in SMITE when it was being suggested.
Probably before my time then.
A character that would move at like 2% movement speed, didn't do anything, just move at 2% movement speed. However, he touched you died.
I like
and
that.
I was like, I
That's
like
fun.
that. I like that. But that's kind of the vibe I got from that one for sure.
So the problem with buffer characters is that your impact is largely invisible in the game. And players like to feel the impact of the things that they do. So one of the good examples from the history of SMITE, right, is that historically, Nike was always one of the winningest gods in Smite.
Yep.
Because she had this global passive that gave everybody
Movement speed.
movement speed and something else.
Movement speed was the worst one, but yeah, regen and something else, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. But nobody realized that even just having a global 1% or 2% or 3%, I forget what it was. It wasn't a big number. Movement speed was just like insanely good, right?
Correct.
And this is true with pretty much all buffs where it's like, you know, if I
take a second off a cooldown, for example.
Yeah. Even like Fafnir is a decent example, right? Where it's like Fafnir is super powerful with his buff. It's probably his strongest ability, but I don't think people feel like it necessarily, unless you're at like a really high level. Maybe you recognize that, right? So if you had a character that was built around buffing, it would probably either be like very fine line, overpowered or underpowered. And even when it was underpowered, nobody would feel it, and you would need to like over buff it for people to feel it.
Yeah.
So
and then tone down elsewhere to compensate.
Yeah. So it's just a very tough archetype. I think that like, you know, if things that are like big visual impactful changes like Geb Shield. Geb Shield is a great buff that
displays the buff, gives the feedback to the user who is Geb that the shield is there and has been applied.
Yeah, both the enemy
teammate feels
and the
it,
player,
enemy feels it, and everyone's
it.
like, man, that Geb's good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think
Fafnir too. Yeah.
Fafnir's like, you know.
I mean, the only feedback you get, I mean, as a player, as Fafnir, I think that's one of the reasons there's a heal there, to be honest. Is like, hey, you got a heal because using that too gives you a heal, and then meanwhile your teammate is swinging but not realizing they're doing more damage because Fafnir is buffed, even though they do get a little hammer over the head. But yeah.
So I would just say like, that's one of the things that makes the archetype hard, right? Another archetype that we hear people pitching all the time is like super dot character, right?
Super dot?
Dots, like damage over time.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Super dots,
Yeah, like, so I all of my abilities are dots, and I tick you for, you know, whatever, a lot of damage.
2,000 damage over 5 seconds, yeah.
Sure. But even, it kind of feels bad from both perspectives for that, right? Because it's like, I don't feel the impact when I hit you with my thing.
Right.
Because I hit you with my dot. You're still at full health.
Yeah.
And over the course of 10 seconds, you're going to take the damage.
Yeah.
But I don't feel it instantly, right?
I will say one of the improvements Smite 2's got, just to cut in that, the one improvement on that is definitely the combat text of like stacking, which really does help. It does a little bit of going, oh, I actually did 400 damage there, even though it was 20, 20, 20, 20. Yeah. You know, like that is a nice thing about it. But yeah, I get where you're coming from, the dots.
Yeah. And the other thing that is annoying for players on the other side of it is like if they kill you and then they die anyway, or they feel like they get away and then they die of the dot anyway. Like that can just be a really annoying play pattern. It doesn't mean that you want dots to not exist in your game, obviously, right? Like Sylvanas is a character that does dots, and we just put him out this patch, right? There's other ones, I'm sure. Dodgy has a dot on her burn, right?
Yeah. Well, she's not out yet, but yeah, Dodgy.
But you know, we know she's
Jean Cuicard, flexible. Yep.
But it's like if the thing that's frequently pitched to us is like, this is a dot damage character. And it's like all their damage is in dots. And it's like, it's if you go too far in that direction that it really becomes like.
It's almost like World of Warcraft Warlock, if you've played much Warcraft.
Yeah.
Like,
so Goobus is doing the thing to you while you're taking the damage. It's not like I cast a dot on you and I walk away. Yeah. That's the difference.
The ground is like a dot area where you're going to take tick damage.
Cuckoo is an example of a dot character, right?
Yeah.
But he has one dot ability. And a lot of he does kill people with it. Don't get me wrong, but he does a lot of damage with the Zult. It's not like he's a character built around I just do dots, right? And that's been like a lot of Reddit god design pitches. If you look at it, are like dot characters.
I feel like dots are just more for poke than they are for kill secure. In a lot of regards, you know, you're just more of a poke character if you're going to just go heavy dots. So Cuckoo's like 3, for example, good dot ability to reduce health to hit them with the spit or the ult. You know, is kind of the idea. Afro 3 as well, good example.
Yeah, like I said, dots are fine, but it's like if that is your and that is not Afro's only damage ability, because back off is a damage ability.
Correct.
And a lot of her damage comes from back off.
And the one does damage as well. So yeah.
Any updates on the next saga? Are we still going to do them? We are working on a saga. We have started working on a saga.
Yeah.
I would say the first one did really well. The second one did okay. Probably at least going to do a third one and see how people react to it. I don't have a firm date for it because it's kind of like secondary priority to the stuff that we have to get done. But we are working on one.
On the list. can we get a system that notifies if the person you reported had an action taken against them? So many people. So I can give you a quick update on that.
Yeah.
Now, listen, we've mentioned this a few a few Titan talks. Obviously, not everyone watches every Titan talk, and obviously, not everybody really listens to every Titan talk. So the report system is there in the game. However, we have to manually do it, and we don't have the manpower right now to really just have someone manually doing that every single time.
And you don't mean it's not the banning part. We are manually banning people.
People are getting action taken against them.
It's the manually sending the notification.
Correct. Thank you for clearing
Yes.
out. But yeah, we are working on that, and it is something we are looking to try and address in the coming months. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm aware that the player base is upset that they're not getting an action has been taken against somebody, because that's all you'll get. You're not going to get the name and what happened to them. That's not what video game companies do. However, trying to get that notification for you guys to realize stuff is happening, we are working on and trying to get into a process, but it's lower down on a lot of other things going on. But yeah, it's there. It's known.
Yeah, it's one of those things I think that would make people feel better too, because we're banning a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah, and people are like, they don't do anything. They don't care. And it's like, no, we do. And it's like people are like, oh, there need to be penalties for dodging queues or for leaving matches early. There are penalties.
And I will say, I think that the hardest part for the community, not knowing it, even unless it happens to you, we do scale our bans. Like if you troll in some of your games, right, and it's the first time you've ever trolled before, I'm not going to permanently ban your account.
No,
right?
That would be silly.
However,
everybody has a bad day,
if you troll,
right?
if you troll 2 days in a row or something like that, I'm all right. Okay, you need a warning. Have 3 days suspension. Come back. Stop that crap. Simple, right? You come back again. You continue doing it. I'm like, all right, clearly didn't learn his lesson. Maybe he got the 3-day ban, but didn't actually try and log in those days either. Funny enough. So you know what? We'll give him a 7-day. And then we'll escalate from there. And if it gets to the point where I'm nuking your account, trust me, I nuke accounts all the time.
Yeah.
And you'll see some of them appear on Reddit every now and again, which is always common.
What did I do?
I just said some words that I thought were fine. Yep. Anyway, but yeah, we do escalate our bans. There is a system to it. Some punishments do get actioned harder than others too. For example, if you're spouting racist or homophobic abuse in games, your suspension is going to be a lot quicker than someone's trolling a game or AFK. Okay, but we also need to factor in other things such as AFKs, for example, in your games. If we just suspend everybody who AFKs in the game, we all know we're humans playing a freaking video game, right? Your DoorDash order will arrive. Your wife will be screaming at you because you're supposed to do something and you're in the middle of a game. You may step away for a moment. And we have to factor in that you are a human at the end of the day. But if you're consistently doing it in all your games, then yeah, you should probably get a suspension for having AFKs. And I do want to differentiate between suspension and ban, because the word ban gets thrown around a lot, but bans are not suspensions. Suspensions are limited times. Bans are permanent.
Yeah.
And we definitely do a bad job of that too, just to be clear. However, people AFK, we do care about the system. I'm passionate about it because I'm definitely working on it, which is the other thing. And if people, have complaints, please feel free to keep complaining, and we'll keep working on it.
Yep. There was a question about the pinging system to let you click to ping items or gold or relics, to share info to your team. We talked about this before, but this is something that I would like to do at some point.
Is this like an item in your inventory you can ping and then suggest or something like that?
So basically, it's mainly to tell people this item's on cooldown, or
oh, gotcha.
Yeah, right.
Or more cooldown display.
Basically, I can ping my enemy's relic to tell my players or tell my teammates oh, they use their relic, right?
Okay,
thing like that. But the problem is that this is a PC system. This is not a system that is usable in any way by console players. In any way reasonable by console players, I would say.
Yeah.
And we try not to prioritize systems that are only useful for half of the player base, right? So sometimes we will do things from one group or the other, right? But if it's if I have to choose between something that will help everyone or something that will only help half the player base, especially a bigger feature like this, because it's a pretty big feature to make every UI element interactable in this way. It's just hard to push to the top of the priority list. So it's one of those things I'd like to do, but not immediately.
I think that's the hardest thing with the community to accept as well, though, is it's on the list.
Yeah.
Saying it's on the list, but they're like, well, if it's on the list, where on the list? Why is it not tomorrow? Can I have a date? And we just don't always have that. Any new God bots in the works? Hoping new syllabus.
Question.
I guess we've not done an update in there. I don't know. where if we have the bandwidth to look into that remote,
so our
we can bring it up.
level designer who's working on the day-night stuff is the same person who does a lot of the Godbots. So he was probably just busy with those. Maybe he'll get some more Godbots eventually.
Yeah.
Will console get 120 frames per second in the future like Smite 1? We would love to do that at some point, but there's more optimization work that needs to happen for that to happen. Right now, console it's actually not a GPU issue, it's a CPU issue. So like we are CPU thread bound, and we can't run at 120 frames yet. The game just isn't optimized enough for console processing power. So, we continue to optimize. We get better every day, but we're still a ways off from getting to 120 frames per second mode on console.
Do any of you guys laugh spam at the end of your games and internal playtests? No.
We do have one person who farts nonstop.
Sure. Not in real life, in game.
He uses the fart.
Because if it was in real life, that'd just be rough.
Yeah, that would be rough.
I don't think anyone would enjoy. But yeah, we don't do that too often because obviously when we do the playtest, we all have to hang out with each other afterwards, and like it's not always fun. Like sometimes someone will spam laugh over a situation in the game, like you do. But yeah, we're not going to be toxic towards each other.
And it's also like the other thing is that like our internal playtests have a lot of players at different skill levels
on any given day too.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily want like somebody who is primarily an artist who doesn't follow the meta and know exactly what everything is. Like if they're jumping into playtest that day because they want to see how something looks in the context of a game.
Correct.
I'm not going to like laugh spam after, I go 16-2 and destroy them.
I've got full meta build online, comp build, and I'm just stomping him and I'm going to laugh spam the corpse.
Yesterday's playtest, like I kind of like accidentally got a little bit ahead. And so I just kind of like just stayed back and farmed for a while, right? So to not.
I can't remember what you were playing yesterday. Now.
I was playing Achilles Jungle.
You were.
I was like,
you were
ahead.
fragging. I was build online. Yep.
I went from like 2-1 or 3-1, like kind of a decent thing, to like 8-1 or 9-1, just like within the span of like 3 minutes. And then it was just suddenly like, okay, gonna take my foot off the accelerator. I'll let everybody else fight, and if there's a team fight, I'll show up. But otherwise, I'm not gonna like do stuff. So we do a lot of trying to playtesting is more to like find what's working or not working, and not necessarily to win.
Yep. We still play like a win though. People get upset when they don't win.
People do get upset when they don't win.
We definitely have instances of like someone going, "Man, I've not won a game in 3 weeks of doing this." And then we're like, "Okay, let's try and put them on a stacked team maybe a little bit more this time." But sometimes that doesn't even work out either. They're my favorite ones.
I know.
When a team gets stacked and they lose, that cheers me up.
Because I thought we were on because we were on the same team in yesterday's playtest. And I thought we were on like the team that was more likely to lose based on the initial team comps, because Pawn and Clumsy were on the other team.
Yeah.
And normally when Pawn and Clumsy are on the same team, it's like, but anyway.
We beat them down.
We did.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
I was testing a new God feature. It was good.
Yeah.
It worked.
We like new features. Somebody with a very specific request for a Kuzumbo kill counter when he kills with Kappas tracker. At some point in time,
honestly, when Kuzumbo's on that list, I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't already going to come up. But good, good idea.
Did I see a Reddit post about gods that would be cool to come to Smite 2? Probably, but I don't remember exactly. Which one yours was. So,
I'd rather get past the point of people complaining that their Smite 1 god isn't in yet, personally. Nice. But it would be nice to see some new, fresh gods, even though the ones we had have been fantastic, in my opinion.
Will new lighting come to Arena as well? Potentially. We're continuing to just do some more tweaks, and like we want to get things feeling good, like really good in Conquest before we bring them to other modes, so we're just still working on that a little bit, and we'll see where that evolves over the next update or two.
Vafi, I'm just going to make a note on that one. I'm not going to read it out loud, but it's just regarding pinging on console, because it does seem a bit weird.
Died while backing tracker. That is a funny idea for a tracker.
Died while backing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do.
Some of that is fat fingering though. Like in my mind, if you're in a panic situation, you're trying to live, you could sometimes press back.
Yeah.
You know, but not that would
Yeah.
really be
I feel like the thing is most
is that a really good tracker you want to have displayed?
No, it's funny. I wouldn't actually.
You know what I mean?
Because you don't want people trying to farm it either, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So if I go in a game and there's a guy with 2,000 died while backings, I'm like, great, this game's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hi-Rez, why is the matchmaking like this? And you're like, well,
Yeah.
like, what am I supposed to do? You don't want that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. So we don't have the idea of global trackers right now. Like trackers are all God specific. So
Yeah.
Mr. Kilgoon, when are we getting the next food skin? I'm hungry. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Not in the next couple of patches, at least, probably. At some point. The food skins always did sell very well. Any updates on base skin prisms? So we are doing some, basically, it's more confusing to make them prisms than you would assume, just in terms of like the flow of the UI. So we are doing some concepts of like heroic, recolor skins that are very similar to what a prism would normally be, such as this new Sylvanas skin. What's it called? Harvest
Keeper.
Harvest Keeper. That you'll be able to get through Twitch drops starting on Saturday, I believe.
Yes.
Soon.
To be clear, Saturday should be go day for the Twitch shop. If it, I was going to say fucks up, but I said it now. If it fucks up this weekend, I will fix it.
Yeah.
The plan is to have it run over 2 weeks. So if it does, we have an issue with week 1. I'm prepared to make sure you guys get enough of opportunity, but it should be good for Saturday. Anyway.
So we are doing some kind of, prism-like, recolor-like things for the base gods. But actually setting it up as a prism is very weird because of our ownership rules for prisms. And there's just like some weirdness around prisms that makes it's I think better for players to not have it set up as a prism.
Have we considered bringing back CCR for high CC situations? We're not the best people that can really give you the answer on that one. The devs would be Pompon or a Clumsy or something like that would be better to kind of answer that sort of question. I can see both sides of CCR being useful and not useful at the same time. And that's also, my take on that is also based on what god I'm playing too, because some of them, you feel like you want CCR, and then others, you don't want to have CCR.
Can I just say that I think CCR is the funniest abbreviation in our game?
Really?
Yeah, because of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Okay, yeah.
So
okay.
I'm always just like...
You see CCR.
I see a Bad Moon Rising, The CCR fans aren't the most fortunate sons. Excellent.
Today's the end of the day right now. I'm just seeing a lot in chat going, can we get or can we give? And I'm like, so like, can we get? And we're not gonna be able to answer all those today for sure. And some of them are just not our scope.
Can we get? This is a can we get, but it's something that we've talked about. Can we get a vision score instead of wards placed? So there's a way to show like the value of hindsight or counter warding or dewarding, and and how much
more
value.
Like a data collection of like people who stepped on wards sort of thing. Then?
Yeah. So like basically like League of Legends does a vision score, which I assume is what this is inspired by.
Okay.
It's like it also gives you points for dewarding. It gives you points for doing all things related to the vision game.
So for the I'm going to be rude here, but like the 9% of players that actually do ward are going to have a new game to play.
Yeah.
That new stat to look at. That's really where it's at.
Pretty funny.
If you all ward, chat, we'll do more. That's kind of my vibe. We've given free wards, by the way. I just want to point this out in both SMITE 1 and SMITE 2, and they don't get used.
People are warding more than they were before.
Great.
Gave them free wards.
Great.
So
that 5% increase has been
a little
huge.
better. What's your thoughts on adding more items like Typhon's Heart that summons beasts to support you? I think that I think they're fun.
Yeah.
I think that there's probably like a limit on the number of those that you can have, both from a performance standpoint and from like a combat clarity standpoint. I don't want, like 5 people on each side, each with 3 beasts fighting each other.
Yeah.
This is not like Pokemon.
I mean, why not though? Why not if we have battles? That'd be good.
That'd be neat. That'd be a fun little LTM.
Like if we had like, if they spawn them, but they have to fight each other first before they can interact with anything else.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Yeah,
it has to be in the sky or something though. Like you said, too much stuff going on in combat.
So I think that like they're fun. They have a place. We just can't have too many of them.
True.
Because Nintendo will sue us.
Also true. We don't call it Pokemon though. We just change it.
What about something like ZZ Roth from League? Didn't they remove that item? That was like the summon a portal of never-ending pushers until they destroy the portal. I feel like that item got removed like seasons ago.
My
it was
League knowledge
super
isn't
annoying.
right there, but that almost sounds like Tiamat's.
It's like Tiamat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but like less because when we first
but imagine
Tiamat
everyone
out,
can buy it.
It was infinite on the spawns, and then we reduced it down to like, okay, I'll do a couple of ways.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get something that split pushes for me so I don't have to? That's legit what Valkyrie does.
I would like less strategy in my strategy game.
Hey, can I just hit all my abilities and they one shot and like their team do 2% damage to me? And can I just start an infinite gold?
Are Persephone's plants hard to add to the game? Do they count as pets?
I hate plants. I hate those Persephone.
They are surprisingly annoying. Just the number of things that they do and the number of states that they have that they interact with. I don't know if they technically...
It's the evolution, right, as well. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and also like even her I believe it's her one. It's the line of like the
push. Yeah.
Yeah, and it drops,
leaves one at the end.
It leaves one at the end. Like that's actually a very complicated ability too, just like in terms of getting it set up to...
Interesting.
But I think they're technically deployables and not pets. So
Correct.
more like so there are some like basically it's like does it have AI or not? But there's they're not super easy to do, I guess is the easiest way. Is the 30 gold in mid lane supposed to spawn at 0 seconds? It's been like this since last patch. I believe that this was intended, but I'm not 100% sure because I am not a designer.
Why are you reporting that one anyway, Strongland? Are you upset about the mid laners getting that bonus 30 gold early before you or something? Because if you start complaining about that and I hear crap talk about those gold cups over near the Gold Fury pit at the start of the game, there'll be drama because that is a real contested.
Oh, it's fixed now. Okay, we have fixed it.
Oh, okay.
I guess it was not intended.
Okay.
There you go.
I just hate those conversations of like, man, but my free gold. Listen, you leave those gold cups alone, okay?
Yeah.
You leave them alone.
I like
it's the only fun we get.
I think mid might be the role I play the least. I think because there's a lot of people that like queue up specifically for mid. And
everybody wants to be the big mage carry.
It's not one of my top like roles that I prioritize. So I almost never see the game from the perspective of mid. So bring it back. We can talk to design, see what they think. I play other roles and been running to mid to get it. That's funny. I think it's funny that everybody so hardcore about it. Can the Joust map get a little bit more added to it to feel like a small conquest? And can you buff the Lost Knight? It's underwhelming. I would say every time we try and add more to one of the like kind of niche modes, like, and Just is a popular niche mode, but not like the core mode. People that play it a lot generally seem to be more upset than happy. Like, because we tried to do with the assault map, the side lanes.
Yeah. I did
and
a little bit
people
more
that were really hardcore about the map didn't like it.
I mean, this hardcore still, yeah.
I think there's a fine line between, what do people play this mode for?
What was the core mode idea?
Yeah.
Why people play it is different for everybody too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's.
So it's like, I think part of the reason why a lot of people are drawn to Joust is because it's a simpler version of Conquest, right? And there isn't, it's obviously 3v3 one lane with your buddies, like that's fun. But I think it's like, you don't have to worry too much about jungling,
Sure.
it's relatively straightforward. And I think there's a real risk that you lose the magic of Joust if you add too many extra Conquest magic.
Even Joust through the whole of SMITE 1 went through iterations where there was more jungle, less jungle, more paths, less paths, teleporters, no teleporters, buffs, no buffs.
All the different Joust maps we tried, right?
Yep.
Everybody was like, just go back to the Chinese Joust. It was the best one by far. And we're like, so when we did it for SMITE 2, we're like, okay, we'll just take that one to make the art better, with some slight changes.
Well, it is 1:59 kill game.
Already?
Thank you for hanging out with us today, chat. It wasn't been too bad, actually. It's when I say it wasn't too bad, I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about because I'm like, I just guess we see what Chad has to say after the hot fixes. But I guess it's time for one more question. Is it possible for Mordred Dash to get priority over teleporters or other interactables, specifically the side teleporters, because they are the same button and because the character becomes borderline unplayable around those parts of the map because they completely disrupt your gameplay loop? Yeah, I'll speak to devs about that one. I think that is a possibility, but I can't guarantee it. I do see the frustration in some regard there, but yeah, it makes sense. If you're wanting to use your reposition ability on Mordred and you can't because you're trying to, you end up interacting with a teleporter, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll make a note.
I will say I've seen people asking about Sunder. I don't really have, I'm not a designer. I can only give you my personal perspective. And that's, as somebody that plays roles that build Sunder, I like Sundering things. I think it's fun. But I don't know if it's good or bad for the health of the game. That's not my place. And design would have to answer that. So I will give you a different answer. There's just like 3 people asking about Sunder right now, so I think
Sunder's just really vogue right now. Anyone in chat remember Hand of the Gods, by the way? Not the game. The item.
You ruined my joke before I can make it. It's fine.
I knew it was coming. That's why I was like, yeah, I'll be you to it. But yeah, listen, Hand of the Gods, Hog was in the game once upon a time, and Hog had a lot of different variations too, okay? Yeah. Some loved it. Some didn't like it. And shockingly, we're in a world where some like Sunder, some don't like Sunder. The value of Sunder will probably go up and down as the metas change. In my mind, early game having a Sunder on your team is useful. If you're having a 500, I believe it's a 500 damage.
It caps at 500.
Cool. So we're really going to have this Hog at 500 damage being the secure for your Fire Giant when you've got a Scylla or a Poseidon, any big ultimate that could crush it anyway. But yeah, listen, Hog existed. Yes, Hog with stun, someone said, and I go back to those days.
I have to pick an actual question. I'm going to take a question and I'm going to send it to Graham's direction.
Oh, thanks so much. I really wanted that.
Are y'all still looking for ambassadors? And if you are, how do I sign up?
Okay. So ambassador program this year. Obviously with Isaiah moving on. Yeah. I've kind of taken on a lot of the reins of what he was doing, plus a lot of other stuff behind the scenes as well. The ambassador program is something that I'll be overseeing going forward, and I will be making adjustments, and we will do an application process. I just don't have times and dates for you right now.
Yep.
As you heard from me today, I was literally just discussing, I've been working on Twitch drops, and then once I get a bit more free time past the Twitch drops, and that's all good to go, then we'll move on to other projects, which the ambassador project is one of them. My opinion is we should probably do an application process for the new year, going into 2026. I do think there's ambassadors that could see renewal, but I also think there's some ambassadors that don't bring what we want them to anymore, and there's no offense to them, it's just they've moved on or things have changed, and the ambassador program has been on the back burner for a while, so we will reinvigorate it, and there will be more details to follow in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah. Thank you for taking a question so I didn't have to.
No problem. But that's it from us today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back on Friday. We got anything to discuss on Friday? Not that I know.
We might have something fun. We'll come up with it.
Especially if Monday you're going to be showcasing the other stuff. So,
yeah.
We'll talk about something. Maybe we can get a guest on. Maybe I can get one of the devs on to answer some of these questions
that'd
we
be
get in the chat. But in the meantime, if we don't see you before, we'll see you on the battlegrounds. Goodbye.